is up, fine people? WTF? Welcome to Funkatopia. And this, I am Mr. Christopher. This is my host. Jeff Page is in the house. And you can't hear Jeff at all. He's muted for some reason. You want to try?
It's love, man. It's love. I figured I'd just keep my voice down a little bit. So, is that better? There we go.
Yeah, welcome to Funkatopia. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get into this interview with the one and only Marcus Thompson from Timex Social Club.
What's up, fellas?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing fine.
Awesome.
How's everybody doing today? How's everybody in the chat? What's up?
Hey, man, we're
Let's
glad
get it.
to have you back.
Thanks for having me back, man. Appreciate it.
But yes,
happy to be here.
Man, this is really
a little difficult getting in. The doorman was a little difficult, but security, y'all have security measures going on, so
don't make you mad.
Yeah, it makes me mad.
We put a bouncer at the door, man. Got the name on the list.
Sorry, I got a little cold going on today, but I'm not singing, so
we're glad to have you. A couple weeks ago we had you on board because there were some questions about the song Rumors, because it was Susan Moonsy's birthday from Vanity 6 and Apollonia 6, and somebody was talking,
and the hookers.
Right, and the hookers. That's right. The hookers preceded Vanity. And you broke into the conversation, and you actually went into the chat area and started and made it very, very clear. I am the person who wrote Rumors for Timex Social Club. Susan Moonsy was who I was talking about.
This is the hand. This is the hand right here that wrote the lyrics. This hand.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be going over, looking over the Rumors lyrics to kind of talk about that and talk about some of the, it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. But man, It is so good to have you on board. And one of the questions that I had was, I guess we'll start here. Where did you come up with the name Timex Social Club?
Well, so it's a mix. It's a jumbled name. It's actually a two-parter. Back in high school, we're talking about 1981, 1982. We graduated in 83. So I had a crew called the Timex crew. And we were not really doing music at the time. It was just a little moniker to, have a little profile on campus. We went to a very, very large high school, Berkeley High in Berkeley, California. So, the student body was crazy numbers. So, our when we had audit, had to come for assembly, it was done in a place called the Greek Theater. Sorry, not the Greek Theater, but it was a theater at the school where they had concerts. Mm-hmm. That's how big the student body was. So we had to differentiate ourselves somehow from all the other crews on campus. So Timex was the name. Now I thought of Timex because of Morris Day and the Time. I was a big fan of theirs, still am. But this is in the early days. This is cool. The first album. This is My Stick, Cool, Get It Up, all that stuff's going on. So we're eating that up. And of course the Prince thing is happening in my mind. So I'm like, yeah, man, let's just be Timex, right? So then when we started doing music, in 80, we started writing songs in 82, 83, somewhere in there. Before 83, because that's when I wrote Rumors. But anyway, tagged on Social Club, right? So it goes from Timex, the Timex crew. So we drop crew and we dropped the. So we dropped the and crew. So Timex, and then Social Club comes into the mix because I'm just passing by these places in town, and they're these little clubs where these old guys are sitting out playing checkers and chess with each other and socializing. So I thought that was kind of cool, and I thought it sounded cool, and I thought it sounded like no other group as well. I didn't want to, try to emulate anything else. With Timex was too close to the time, so I had to try to get it out of there, some way, somehow. So yeah. So I married the two, and in the initial recording session of Rumors, the engineer actually said, "Hey, what do you guys want me to write on this? On the box, on the 2-inch tape. Who's the artist?" So everybody looked at me because I didn't know if we were still Timex or Timex Social Club. So that's when I told the engineer, Timex Social Club.
All right.
Yeah. So right up until the time of recording Rumors, it was still kind of iffy, but that's how those two names kind of came about. I just kind of married them together. Yeah.
Were you ever approached by Timex at all? Did you ever have any actual watch company saying
approached?
Or yeah,
said approach.
Like in a back alley.
Yeah.
There was a letter. There was a cease and desist letter. So if you're talking about that, yeah, but we never had a sit down with those guys. Yeah, and
that's crazy.
We're not selling watches. We're not selling anything in a timepiece realm. We're doing music, man. But you're 18 years old, you're 19 years old, you're 20 years old. You don't know about copyright infringement. How do we infringe? I'm using the street etiquette, right? I'm like, man, we ain't even close to. People won't think we're you. You sell watches in a store. We are on the radio. We sing and dance. There's two different. But yeah, they got bent, man. They was hot. They was hot at your boys. They woo-wee. It was like, change your name, stop what you're doing. And it was so funny because at that time, the Fat Boys Swatch watches had the Fat Boys. This was I'm talking about stuff way in the past. Sorry, some people are gonna have to Google that or go to YouTube. But that was. Go ahead.
No, they're still out.
Yeah,
Swatches. Oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Out there, yeah.
Well, the Fat Boys are not. So
right.
Right.
Yeah, that's that.
But anyway, it was like the early days of music artist endorsements, right? It was the very, very, very early days of that. And I don't think Run DMC had ink to deal with Adidas yet. I think they were close, but it was that early. So, but the Fat Boys commercial was out. It was running. I remember watching it on television, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then so when we got the cease and desist letter, I just shook my head, man. I'm like, what are these dudes? Why are they so upset?
Yeah,
we can help them. We can help them sell some of these watches.
Yeah, exactly.
And it made so much sense. But like again, I'm thinking I'm at a street level with my my thinking, and I'm like, I'm using common sense is what I'm doing, right? And you shouldn't do that in a law realm. But again, I'm 21 at this time when all of this is happening, so I'm not an attorney. I don't know, and I don't think we've done anything wrong at 21 years old. But going to a studio and record a hit song. So why are you mad at us? We're topping the charts as well. The record had hit #1 on the R&B charts. by this time,
Right.
right? So you're like, again with the common sense, man, we got so much steam behind this. Why are you trying to tear us down?
Yeah.
So yeah, we were approached via letter.
So I got a question for you. One of the people,
Yeah.
King asked, and I'm going to clean it up a little bit. They said, were you a fan of Timex or other watches? But I want to clean that up a little bit. Before the cease and desist letter, were you a
Mhm.
fan of Timex watches? And how, what happened after that? As far as
I
do you
mean,
know about watches?
we come from the streets and ghettos of the Bay Area, Oakland, San Francisco, that kind of ilk. So I don't think anybody was a fan of any watch brand. You probably get a better answer asking us what kind of cologne we like. It wasn't really, we weren't focused on a watch brand. It just happened to be a spinoff of the Time,
Right.
and I went with Time X.
Yeah.
And
Gotcha.
not ever thinking that, okay, you got to understand, you make demos, right? People go into the studios and they have great ideas for songs. And sometimes those songs are they die as a demo. They never ever make the next step to, oh, this is on the radio now and it's charting. So when we were doing what we were doing, we were having fun. We never thought, oh, this is going to go number one. We never thought, oh, we're going to tour with so and so and so and so. Oh, we're gonna do this and that. We never that wasn't in our vision. We were just having fun, right? So then
Right.
everything else that happened afterwards, man, it was just the gravy on top. But now we're in a little trouble, right? So no, I won't say that we had a favorite watch brand. At least I didn't. I think I was wearing a Casio.
Most of us were right.
I
They're
had
like,
with my advance, right? I went to Macy's and bought me a fresh new Casio. I think it cost about $60.
Yeah. Yeah.
Digital,
That's
digital with the light. You could pinch it and you had a little light
right.
light on the side. Man, I was fresh, man. So Casio probably was the watch brand that I was a fan of back then, not Timex.
well, I can tell you, one of the things that was really interesting, and Jeff and I were talking about this before the show.
Mhm.
Anybody let me know also if I'm too hot, volume wise or anything on the.
No,
Make sure I'm not too hot as far as the listeners are concerned. I mean, hot like volume wise. We know the other one.
He's hot.
Anyway,
he's a handsome man.
He's a handsome man.
Yeah.
but you guys had a really, really unique sound that kind of, it wasn't anything. It was something very, very different that you guys were doing that was not like anything else that was on the radio. It was kind of, it was like taking things in a more simplified way that was really, the tones were very, very sharp. So one of the first questions that we had here was from Simon Stone, and he said, "I have a weird Timex social club, but what drum machine is used on Why You Treat Me So Bad?"
Ooh, well,
And
okay,
we'll
go,
get so
keep going.
we'll start there, and then kind of also talk a little bit about the sound itself,
Yeah, because that leans into Club Nouveau side. Like, it kind of bounces between the two.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
we'll get there in a second for sure.
yeah.
So, so yeah, we'll clear that up first. So, Why You Treat Me So Bad is not our song.
Right.
It was derived from one of our songs. So it was created from a demo tape that a producer had of one of our songs called "Thinking About You."
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right.
But anyway, I'm gonna circle back to that later, hopefully. So the drum machine, that's the question. Initially, the drum machine was an 808,
Mm-hmm.
and that was backed up by did he have another one? No. So okay, it was initially at 808 on the demos, and we demoed Rumors for 3 years. So I wrote it. I came up with the concept. All this happened in 83, the summer of 83, because I graduated in 83. So the summer of 83, somewhere along in there, I wrote Rumors, and then we started working on it. And if you ever see the 12-inch, it says it came out in 1986. So we had 3 years of just rubbing on that thing, keep polishing it, right? It starts off crude, and then you keep, perfecting that recipe, right? And by the 3 year mark, it's old to us. But anyway, getting back to this drum machine thing. So when we went into the studio, we took the 808 and we laid down an 808, definitely, and you can hear that. It's very prominent in the mix. And then to back that up, it was a Lin. So there's two drum machines on Rumors. There's an 808 and a Lin.
Wow.
So that's what's kicking at the same damn time.
Okay.
Well, the Lin was very expensive. Mark Ronson.
The Lin wasn't ours. The Lin was brought in to punch it up.
Wow.
Ronson,
the only one we had was the 808.
Mark Ronson has a special right now. I want to say is it Apple TV? I think it is. It's called See the Sound or Feel the Sound or something like that. But he was talking about drum machines, and he actually talked about the Lin drum, and that the Lin drum was so popular that the 808s came on the backside of the Lin drums. And then the 808s, because they had kind of flooded the market, all of a sudden people were, turning them into pawn shops and just, giving them up. And then they dropped in price and everybody just started picking them up and just, so what was cool about it is that they actually had a lot of, you started hearing more and more 808s on music and hip hop. So that's the reason why the 808s just started flooding the market. Where did you pick up your 808? Did you actually own that one?
No. So our music guy, his name is Alex Hill. Shout out to him. So all of our equipment was owned by Alex. He had studio at his apartment, 1-bedroom apartment. And so the studio was in the living room, man. I wish we had some photos of that. Man, that was some great days, man. We sit around the couch and think of tunes, man, and play around and come up with stuff. But Alex had that equipment. So I think he bought that from Guitar Center.
Wow.
In Oakland, California. Or Bananas at Large in San Rafael. It was two shops that he liked. So I'm not sure. I wasn't with him when he purchased it.
Yeah.
But shout out to those stores in the Bay Area.
Let's talk about these guys here. Give me a little bit of rundown of this band we're looking at right here. Let's go left to right on this bad boy after you take a sip of your water. Let's go left to right on this bad boy and talk about the band.
That's Alex with the suit coat on and the brooches. The brooches. You see them brooches on the collar, man?
Serious.
On the lapel. See them brooches, baby?
Serious business, man.
Yeah. Killing it. So it really doesn't do it justice because that's a black and white photo.
Right.
So, but anyway, I'll next is me. Oh, Mr. Serious group leader. So that's me with the fingers upside my head. And I'm trying to be all, I don't know what I'm trying to do there. I'm just trying to get through this damn photo session, I think. And that's my boy, Mike. He's the lead vocalist. He's standing right behind me. And then Kevin was a classmate of ours. So we all went to Berkeley High. And sorry, let me clean that up. Kevin Moore, but we called him Kev Mo.
Mm.
Not to be confused with the jazz artist Keb Mo.
Right.
But yeah, that's Kev Mo, Kev. We all went to Berkeley High, but Alex was 2 grades ahead of us, so he had already graduated. But everybody else was class of '83.
Wow.
So that's us in a. Um, I was the stylist for that photo shoot. So here's what happened. We had the date, and we had the address and everything, and we got our little advance, and I wrangled Kevin to go to Macy's with me to get some clothes. So we both got white pants and those jackets, those little collegiate looking jackets. And Michael was supposed to dress the same way, but something happened. The brother didn't make it, and so we left without him. We went to Macy's without him. Got our clothes, and we showed up to the photo shoot. Now Michael was wearing a pink sweater. You don't see it because that's black and white. Kevin and I'm wearing a white sweater, and Kevin has on a yellow sweater. But see, in the black and white realm, it all looks white, right?
Except for that Casio.
Except for that Casio.
Yeah. Oh man, I wish you could zoom in on it, bro. That's that Casio gleaming right there on my wrist.
Bling it out. You're like,
man, it's not even 24 hours old, bro. It is fresh out the box, right? So, and then Alex is wearing a blue blazer, and it's in a tie. He's got on, I think, a pink tie. So we were some multicolored individuals on that shot. But what the photographer did is he took pity on us. He was like, I'm gonna make a set of color and black and white for y'all. So we went with the black and white because it looked more uniform.
So Alex didn't get the memo that you guys were wearing white on this photo shoot.
No, them 2 brothers was doing their own thing. They didn't want to rock with the stylist Marcus T. They didn't want to rock with me. So yeah, I know. But yeah, if I had my way, we'd all been wearing those jackets. I thought they were fresh.
Oh, wait,
so we happen to get a color version. We get to make fun of it because
there is a color version out there.
Yeah, I don't know
You're gonna have to go to Google Images to get that mug.
I did. I went to Google Images and I looked for Timex Social
It's out there.
and I kept seeing black and white, and I was just like,
I know, because I like to try to bury things, but
so
if you got 10 minutes, you can find it.
So when we're talking about you're putting the album together, you were actually picked up to actually tour with a wide variety of bands. I mean, everybody from Run DMC and of course Beastie Boys and LL Cool J, and you guys were all over the map. So Mike,
yes.
So before we get into that, and because I do want to talk a little bit about the touring process that you guys had, but one of the things that I found interesting, and I just because I don't remember, I was 1986. I was born. I don't know when I was 16. 16, I guess. No, 18. I was 18 because I was 68. So I guess my question is, and I don't remember the timeline of this, because did you guys already have the album done, or were you supporting them based on just like a few songs, or was the album already released?
No. So, wow. All of this happened so fast, right? We had definitely Timex had an album in the can, but it was all demos. We needed time to go into a 24 track and lay things down. So yeah, we're submitting all these cassettes to the record label, and with the hopes of, okay, we got to get green lit for everything after Rumors, right? Because it's like, oh, we want to, we don't want to drop the ball on this, guys. We want to come correct. So we're submitting the demos, even the rough ones, the ones that I'm just singing a cappella, or there's a drum beat behind me and I'm just, it's what you call a work print, Prince did a lot of those, on that compilation they released right after his death. They had some rough demos of his, but it's like, oh, that became that. Oh, okay. Yeah. But so we're just firing off everything at them, and then the phone rings and it's the Raising Hell tour. And they're like, do you want to open for Run DMC? Well, yes.
Yes. I guess.
At this time, I'm currently making $4.25 an hour at my job.
Of course. Yes.
What do you mean? Yes. Well, how much they paying? What? We'll be right there. So, we left that decision to the record company and we just took off on the road, man, for like 2 weeks straight. And then when we got back, they're like, okay, let's start working on the album. Well, I ain't got no income because I quit my job, right? I'm a star now. I can't be working. I was a security guard. So I can't be guarding the hotel and my record's on the radio. Ain't gonna work. I'm a star now, right? So I got to keep the lights on. So it was a lot of pressure, man. So we started recording, and then the group chemistry just went. It just went into the can. There were so many people pulling at the group from all sides. You had that Timex letter. You had the lead singer had gone and hired his own personal manager. And because initially the guy wanted to manage the entire group, and we had a meeting and we just took a vote, and we all voted no, all four of us. And I think it was a day later or 2 days later, I get a phone call from this dude, and he's like, yeah, I'm Michael's manager now. So, whatever you guys want to do, talk to me. Don't talk to Michael. I'm like, Jesus. Yeah. So we got that to deal with. We got the label tripping. They don't want to do certain songs. And then there's money. There's this money out there looming from Russell Simmons, right? There's this money. So we tried to get back to the tour. So it kind of just got to a little breakup at that point. And so Michael stayed home and finished the album, and we went back out on the road because we were broke. Hey, baby, got to pay them bills, got to keep the lights on. Right. Daddy need a Big Mac and some fries or something. I got to eat. So not to mention the other perks on tour. So it was a crazy time, man. So
yeah,
the album was, when we heard it, I wasn't a big fan of the album at all. All kinds of stuff had changed because we weren't there. 3/4 of the group wasn't there. It was only the lead singer and his manager and the record label. So what you think is gonna happen? So everything got like, instead of a group decision on things and group involvement, it got pushed over to like lead singer's album, except for Rumors. So yeah, it was that album I'm not proud of. I'll just say that. Certain people like it, but could have been much better. Could have been much better.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Rumors was the big hit, and I think a lot of that had to do with the lyrical content, which we're going to talk about here in a second. But I do want to finish
Why,
talking.
thank you.
Of course, we're going to. We have to. But I do, I am curious about this billing, just because of how you feel about this particular billing. We're talking about now, as a child of the '80s.
Yes, sir.
And the '70s too, obviously. But in
Yes.
hip hop at the time, like I was a huge Run DMC and LL Cool J,
Houdini,
and Houdini. I mean, all of them were fantastic. I still can't wrap my head around how you guys were fit into this mix. How did the crowd? I didn't see this tour. I would have loved to, because this was a badass album. Raising Hell was fantastic.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of curious, how was the audience reception? Because, I mean, did it even cross your? I mean, obviously, when you're asked to tour with somebody like Run DMC, you're like, whatever. Yeah, I'm doing it. But
Yes.
did you have any doubts at all about how you're going to fit into this mix? And then what was the audience reception like on this tour?
Wow, man. There was no hesitation from us
Obviously,
initially to go on that tour.
Right.
All you had to say was Run DMC.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Now, when you add Houdini, Friends, Freaks Come Out at Night,
Right.
I'm a Hoe. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, right? And then you drop LL. Now the Beasties at that point, they weren't really that established, but they were more established than us, right? So I'm like, yeah, let's get this, man. But here's the thing: we don't rap.
Right.
That's what I'm wondering about.
The only thing that I could think of, I was like, well, Houdini, they rap, they kind of sing.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some hooks sung at this, at the concerts. Some of their songs are, very, very, R&B-ish. So I'm like, okay, this can work. Let's do it. Let's do it and see what happens. Right. So yeah, the billing from the start was kind of crazy, but I think it was, going back to Simon's question earlier, I think it was, when you drop the needle on Rumors and you hear that 808,
yeah,
and that's a hip hop beat. That's a hip hop drum machine. There is no doubt. And I haven't really researched this, but I'm not sure if before us there had been another R&B record that large that had a hip hop drum machine on it, featured that prominently. You know what I mean? There may have been some percussion or something in the background. It may have been like midied up where, it's running underneath. These might be like Simmons drums or something like that they're using. But, and then in the back, in the mix, there's a little ding, 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 something like that, little rim shots or clouds or whatever. But in our case, that mix, that hip hop drum machine was mixed up so high and so loud. When you drop that needle, it's like, this is hip hop. It just screams street, urban, gritty. And then you add Michael's vocal on top of it, and it's not a Luther Vandross. It's not a Jeffrey Osborne. He's not crooning. He is yelling at you. And then the way I wrote it, I'm not a rapper, but the way I wrote it, the cadence. How do rumors get started? It started by the jealous people. And now that's basically rap.
It is.
The cadence of it, the timing of it, the way the lyrics drop on, and carry over the beat. So I think that was the logic.
Yeah. And I
So-
think absolutely that makes a lot more sense. And of course, you got the Beastie Boys in the mix too. We've neglected to mention
Yes.
Beastie Boys.
Adam and Mike.
So are you? I'm sorry, Jeff Page. I know you had a question, but I want to get this out before I forget it. Were you the opening act, or were the Beastie Boys the opening act, or what was the lineup?
So this was a Rush Productions tour. All except us. Every act on that tour was managed by Russell Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
they shoved us to the front.
Yeah.
They shoved us to the front. So, and then to make matters worse, right? Here's the joke. So we're rising up the charts. We're in the top 10. We're in the top 5. We're killing it, right? And we're coming to your town, right? They put us on first. And black folks ain't on time to no concert.
Little CPT, got it.
So the ticket stubs say the show start at 7:30, player. Well, I'm pulling up. I'm in the parking lot. It's 7:25. We can make it.
Yeah.
Man, by the time they got in there, we was off stage in the damn dressing room eating snacks, man.
So you performed to crickets.
A lot of folks never saw it.
Yeah.
We was the bait. We was the bait. I was to go see Timex, and they were like, "Where they at? The white boys up here first." I'm like, "Wait, I know they coming on next." As soon as they go off, it's LL turn. It's like, as soon as they go off, it's Houdini, and it's like, "Well, damn, did we miss him?" Yep.
Oh man,
Because we don't have an album, so we only had 10 minutes. Our set was 10 minutes, man.
So you had
But
mentioned
it started on time every night.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Every night it started on time. Then them shows were ran like clockwork. It was the best concerts we had ever been a part of because they never dragged. It started on time. No ifs, ands, or buts.
It should be. And you were only 10 minutes, so you got to enjoy.
Right. Good night. And then it's intermission. And then they walking in, they got their popcorn and hot dog, and they done bought the t-shirt and everything, and then they sitting down and they want us to come on, baby, we gone. Got my money, I'm in the dressing room.
So how much
it was sad.
I don't know if this is too much
for some people.
It's a little bit different time now, obviously. But how much were you making per show? Just out of curiosity.
All right. This is just gonna sound real crazy right now, but back then we was eating it up. So we started out at 3 G's, man. 3 G's for 10 minutes.
Wow.
Really?
But we had to split that between 4 guys.
Oh,
but still, man, we're talking about 1980, what, 1987, 1988.
But I'm saying it was more money than I was making at the job, right? I'm making $4.25 an hour back then. So yeah, I don't care what it is, as long as it's over what I'm making.
Right. You know how hard it is to make that now for a 45-minute show for an artist?
Say what? But
yeah, I have. What Jeff was saying is how hard that is to make now, because I have. I used to perform quite a bit, doing regional stuff.
Okay.
But, yeah, I mean, local bands and live bands right now, they can play, 3.5, 4 hour sets with a break in between, obviously at like a bar, and the whole, you're not even clearing $1,000 that has to be split up.
Fight for that $3,000 now, even.
And that's in 2024.
Well, we did get a bump in pay when we came back after that little 2-week break. We negotiated very hard.
Yeah.
And so they bumped us up to 5 G's. Ooh. But here's the thing. I don't think we were making. One night we had to work for the bus. So the first 2 weeks we went out, we rented our own van from Hertz.
Okay.
And now we driving across the country in this van from her. It's got 2 gas tanks. Man, this is hilarious, dude. You ever drove through Texas?
No, I have not. I've flown over it. I've never,
Don't do it.
never driven it.
It was the longest trip. I mean, you
Is-
got some stinky brothers in the damn van.
it is a huge
Woo-wee.
state.
You're like, damn, man, can't wait to get to the hotel. Woo, woo. So, so, so the first leg we get in the 3Gs, but we got this van rental, right? Because we can't fly. We got to ride to the next town. So we trade that in, and then when we renegotiate, we said we want a tour bus. So they say, okay, we'll get you a tour bus, but we ain't paying for it. How much is the tour bus? The tour bus is what was the tour bus? 2 G's a week, something like that.
Hmm.
So
Yes.
I just remember it rounded out to one of the shows we were working for the bus.
Right.
We,
Back
like, damn, this, but we was looking smooth though. We rolled up in the bus. We had our own tour bus. We had a little clout this time out. Boy, we looked like everybody else out there. But yeah, man, that was crazy. So yeah, we did go from 3 to 5, but when we got to the 5, we still had a little kickback.
Afford AC. At least you could afford AC this time.
Oh, we had AC in the rental. It was the proximity was killing it. You know what I'm saying? Now in the tour bus, you can go way in the back and get away from somebody. They got a shower on the bus and bathroom. You can keep rolling. We got our own driver and everything. So it was a better situation, but it did cost.
So you alluded to it earlier, and so one of our
Yes,
listeners
sir.
popped the question. So we got to know, man, what perks were you referring to on the tour? Somebody wants tea.
Lisa. Lisa wants the tea. Make sure
All
the
right.
wife is not in the room.
Who is it? Lisa?
Lisa LaBeouf, yes.
Lisa. All right, Lisa. Well, you've heard stories. So it's all brothers in the band. It's all brothers in the group. And
All right.
ain't nobody that ugly. And we did go up first. So we had our choosing, a picking. You know what I'm saying? We go up first. We get the sweat off. We go back there, change, get fresh again. Them brothers is up there working. Now we got, we can spot a crowd. We picking and choosing out here. So there were groupies. There were groupies.
All right.
There was a lot of free things given.
Yeah.
I'm not a drug person, but I do drink. So, I rarely had to buy my drinks. Yeah, but it was sex, drugs, and rap and roll. But yeah, just let your mind wander there, Lisa. It's I'm just glad. I always said it. I'm glad TMZ wasn't around back
Right.
then.
Right.
Your boy might have been. Clink, clink.
And these are not rumors.
Now, with that said, if you want the real tea, it's in this book right here that I wrote. How do rumors get started? The true story of Timex Social Club.
Yeah. And
So
and just-
you can get the audio version if you want to listen to it in your car. You can get the audio book. If you want to thumb through it, you can get the paperback. It's on Amazon and other retailers out there.
and matter of
But I
fact,
go deeper.
yeah, matter of fact, if you want to get the book, we actually set up a quick
there it
link.
is. Thank
So funkatopia.com/Timex. So FUNKATOPIA.com/Timex. That will take you right
Thank
to
you,
the
sir.
Amazon page where you can actually pick up the book.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so we'll make sure that we.
So yeah, Lisa, if you want the entire cup of tea, that's how you get it. So right now, I'm just gonna let your mind wander a little bit, but we did indulge. There were a lot of free things given.
Now I remember you were talking about I'd read before that when you were in the process of making this demo and kind of going through the process of making this demo, that at one point in time you actually gave that demo to the one and only Jesse Johnson. So can you tell the story about, meeting Jesse, how that went, and eventually how you ended up getting tied in with Morris Day?
Yeah, so let me try to be fast on this. It is 1985. I am lying to my mother. She wants me to go to college, and I'm giving her the classic. I'm doing my music, Mom. If it doesn't pop in the next year, I'll go to college. But right now, I'm concentrating solely on my music. I got blinders on. That's all I'm doing. So she went for that. So anyway, I'm sitting at home. It is a Saturday morning. The phone rings. It's a friend of mine, DJ from high school, Terry Ward. Shout out to T Ward. T Ward is now the manager of, at the time, he was the manager of, I think it was Tower Records, a Tower Records that was located in downtown Oakland. Gets on the phone. Marcus, y'all still trying to do something with that record? Yeah, blood. Yeah. Yeah, what's up? I'm at the store now. I'm the manager, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I know. Jesse Johnson coming in today for an autograph session. What? When? What time? He's gonna be here about an hour. Slide through, man. Maybe you can give him the tape. Maybe something happen. Click. I'm dubbing tapes. I'm dubbing. Where's a blank? I'm dubbing. I can't give him the original, so I'm dubbed the tape. I wrote my name, the group name, Timex Social Club on it, phone number. Everything. I'm prepared, right? Everything you need to do. Slide up there, running, catch a bus, whatever I'm doing. I'm getting there. I get there. There's a line of girls out the back of the store.
Of course.
Now, the store isn't open yet, but I spot T Ward. And I'm like, T, it's me. They said, come on. So he gets me to the second or third in person in line, right? So I'm behind these females, right? So they go in, it's all, Jesse, they just, they losing their minds, right? It's Jesse Johnson, he's got the ruffles and the hair is doing what it's doing. And he's wearing all pink. I mean, he's straight off the album cover, right? He looks just like the album cover. And then his boys, the band, there's like two on this side, two on the other side, or three or whatever. And it's a whole impressive table, right? But anyway, these girls are losing their minds over him. So they go, okay. Other girl goes. Now I'm next, right? So now I get up there, right? And he's looking for, I see him when I'm approaching. He's looking for a record because he wants to sign my record. I don't have a record. So I have this tape. So I get at him straight up, man to man. I look him right in his eye. Jesse, what's up, man? My name is Marcus. I got this group, Timex Social Club, man. We tight. We tight, man. Check out the tape, man. We got hits, dude. We love to be down, blah, 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 blah. And give it to him. Now he's very confused at this point because he's like, I ain't come here for this. I can see it on his face, but I'm trying not to buy into that. I'm like, yo, I'm serious. I'm here to let you know I'm serious. I want to be down, right? We want to be signed. So I can't get into the, thing that he's looking down or whatever, kind of, why are you wasting my time kind of look. So I'm like, yo, if I come off very confident, perhaps this man, when he has a little time in the limo or tomorrow, or whatever, we'll listen to this tape. So that's what I did. I was straight up, eye to eye, blah, blah, blah. Say what I had to say, gave him the tape. He passed it to a band member. Peace, two fingers. I'm out of there. Stage left. And so I leave there. I'm on cloud 10. not even on cloud nine. I met a member of the Time.
Right.
I just shook this brother's hand.
Yeah.
I was eye to eyeball with this brother, face to face. And now he has my music in his possession. He has got to call. This is heaven sent. The Lord has sent this. This is the day, right? There's too many. There's too many. There's too many things that have happened for this not to come true. This is my dream, and to be signed by a member of the Time, the band that we love. Oh, that would right. So anyway, I go home, wait by the phone. Day one, nothing. Day two, come home, look at the answer machine. Back when we had the answer machine, ain't nothing blinking, no lights blinking. I'm like, all right, all right. But every day, man, I would come home. I'm still waiting for Jesse to call me.
Isn't it funny? Jeff Page, we've all been in bands before, and we've all been down this road with the demo tape where we get it into the hands of somebody that we think is going to be able to do something for us. And you got your phone number, you got the promo pics, you got everything. You even go home and you re-listen to the tape and think, "This is how he's gonna hear it." You're like, "Oh, let me envision how he's gonna hear the tape that I just gave him." It's like, "Oh man, this is gonna happen." And then just like you say, day one goes by. And day two,
Right.
it happens like that every single time. It's like
so. It's funny when I saw that movie Hustle and Flow. There's a scene in Hustle and Flow where Terrence Howard's character gives Ludacris's character a demo, and the demo gets tossed in the toilet.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Jesse probably did that to me, man. My tape is probably in the toilet, man. That's crazy. But yeah, that movie like brought it home to me. I'm like, that's probably what happened.
Yeah, and there's only one time that I actually knew what happened to the tape when I met Randy Travis at his house.
Oh, okay.
We went on a tour of Nashville and we drove by his house, and I remembered where his house was, and I went back to his house, and he happened to be home, and he answered the door. He answered the door, and I gave him the tape, and I told him all about the band and everything, and I looked down on the floor next to the door. I saw this trash can next to the door, and he did not put it in with the door open, but literally, I'm telling you, he was like, "Oh, I appreciate it. Like, listen to it." And as the doors closed, I could hear that cassette tape hit the floor. I was like, I didn't even go listen to it. God,
kind of stalkerish to be ringing his doorbell.
That's I know.
Yeah, dude, you bold, man.
You got to be
bold. You could have got that guard dog on you.
Yeah, I know, but you have to be bold.
Some pit bulls after you, boy.
Yeah, somebody asked us. Wait, he didn't have there wasn't even a gate or anything. You just walk right up.
I know, but I'm just.
Somebody asked this question, and I don't know what the answer to this is, but this is, where does Jay King come into the story?
He was the president of the first label that Rumors appeared on.
Gotcha.
Rumors was recorded in January 2nd, January 3rd, my bad, 1986 in Richmond. So Jay heard the tape. So Jay was in the position of Jesse Johnson at this time, right?
Yeah.
So Jay heard the tape and liked it, and that's when the phone rang. That's when my phone rang. That's when I got a message, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, ah! right. Somebody is called. Wanting it to be Jesse, but it was Jay. I guess it was another Jay, right? Jesse.
Yeah.
So yeah. I like the song, blah blah blah. I want to record it. Want to talk to you brothers, blah blah blah. So that's what happened, and it came out on J Records. I think it dropped in March, something like that, March of '86, and by May, it was killing it, man, on the charts. So that was record company number one. I'll try to be fast. record company number one, J Records, never gave us a contract. We didn't have one. It was a handshake. But the story is, I'll get you guys. I'll do. We'll make this happen. So we waited and waited and waited. Then there was we kept stressing to him, and so he came up with a letter of intent. Sign this. I intend to sign you to a contract.
Right.
But all the while, the record is now charting on actual AM radio stations. It's now being played. Excuse me. And now it's charting in Billboard and Cashbox magazine. It's charting. So I'm like, wait, what? We need a contract, man. What's There's some money flying around out there. Now, at this time, my car don't start. But I got a record on the radio. And like I said, I'm making $4.25 an hour. I know, boo-hoo. But the fact is, my record's on the radio. And I got to catch the bus to work.
Right.
That ain't right.
No.
So record company number 2 came, and that was Daniel Records. And they stepped up. They gave an advance, although it wasn't a lot of money. They funded a video. They put us in a 24 track. The album came out. Things started moving on the second record label, and we had a contract. We had a very bad contract, but it was a contract, whereas record company number 1 didn't provide a contract. If they had, we would have signed it.
Did you get your rights?
That's where he came in.
Did you get your rights? Did you get your rights for the song "Rumors," or is it still locked in key?
It's still.
It's still. That's all you got to say. Is it still?
Yes, royalties are being paid.
Yeah. Well, I just saw.
But I mean, there's so much missed money out there. We'll never get that.
Yeah, because I thought that the rule was that once Jeff Page, isn't it 30 years or something like that? Then I guess it has to. I guess if it's written into the contract in perpetuity, it doesn't matter. But
right.
But I thought it was something similar along those lines. But I guess it's not what it is.
Yeah, I've spent so much money on lawyers since day one. It's ridiculous.
My God.
And the needle hasn't moved. It's like I shouldn't have even hired an attorney. But I mean, I'm not sitting up here bitter. I mean, I went on to produce and record other groups and other songs and other projects and, DJ for people and, but this is a story that a lot of artists have. It is not a time to get, all sappy and let's start crying about it. And, I mean, it was worse for people like Little Richard.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
James Brown too. Yeah. The architect. We can talk about Motown and but things are written, contracts are written for the record companies benefit, not for the artist.
All right. I know people want us to talk about, actually, I have one more question before we start. I want to go over the lyrics of Rumors real quick for those who may have been a couple weeks ago, but I have one more question regarding Jam Master Jay. I know that you, at one point in time, I guess, maybe it was during the touring period where Jam Master Jay really kind of, helped you along in a variety of different ways. Can you explain your relationship with Jam Master Jay and what transpired?
Oh man. Day one. I'll be real quick. Day one, we get to the first auditorium. We're late. And I go into all of that in the book. But we're several hours late. I mean, we're really close to showtime. I think the showtime was 7:30. We get there like 4. We're cutting it close, man. I mean, nobody is happy to see us because they're like, yo, we wrote y'all off. Sound check was at 2.
Wow.
So the first impression thing was blown, right? So we're like, oh my God. how do we get out of this? Because we want people to like us, and this is our first gig.
Why were you late?
Man, we'd be here all night, man. But it's in the book. It's in the book. We had some complications.
Okay.
Yeah, people are people, and people do kind of what they want to. You tell them to be somewhere sometime, and then they go okay, and then they're not. So anyway, it was out of our control, but we made it. We got there. We got to Arizona. We were there. So this Jam Master Jay thing. So we walk in, and we're backstage. We're walking backstage, and we're looking around. The auditorium is empty, and there's just random people walking around. There's roadies. There's people doing lighting stuff, and so we're trying to find out who the boss is, and then we see him. There's Jam Master Jay, and he's walking directly to us.
Hey.
So I'm thinking, he about to cuss us out. We really about to get it right now. And he gets close, and we just kind of do this like, oh, because he's a headliner.
Mm-hmm.
With the opening act. You don't want to mess that up, right? So we're like, let's let this brother talk. So he sticks out his hand in the nicest, most, hey y'all, I'm Jam Master Jay, man. Y'all Timex? Nice to meet y'all. Icebreaker. Everything melted at that point. The tension was gone. The anxiety is gone.
Wow.
And we're like, oh my God, this brother is so humble. Because he didn't have to do that. He could have just looked at us, and kind of went the other direction. Like, you chumps, you late, kind of thing, right? And he would have had a right to. He's the headliner.
That's right.
And for him to stick out his hand, shake our hands, ask us our names.
Wow.
And then introduce himself as Jason.
Wow.
So from that point on, he was kind of like, big brother on tour. If we needed anything, blah, 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 hit him up. And he was so down, man. He was so humble. So when I heard the news that he had been shot,
devastating.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, who would want to harm him?
Right.
I mean, now I don't hang out with the brother. I don't know his entire, persona, but I mean, I do remember spending those 3 months with him, and there was never a problem towards us. He had our backs, So yeah, rest in peace, JMJ, and a real true friend.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, let's do it.
Yep.
Let's talk about Rumors, because that's obviously the song that you guys are most well known for. And so,
yes, sir.
We already cleared up the rumors
Mm-hmm.
a few weeks ago, but for those who missed it, we're going to do it again. Since these rumors are started by jealous people and they get mad about something they had and then somebody else is holding,
Now, right there, I want to stop you. All of that doesn't rhyme.
I know. Why is that, Mr. Writer?
I know, right? Right? Now, look, when I was writing that, it fit. The shoe, it actually fit in the shoe. And it sounded good.
Way.
But it don't rhyme. I got better.
Yeah.
I got better after that. I did. My songs started to rhyme. Everything, every line started to rhyme. But, excuse me, nobody seemed to care.
Right.
They sing the hell out of that first part.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh no. So
How long?
Yeah, I wish I could have had that one back, but it got out, it got on tape, and it got pressed on the wax, and it's forever part of that song.
How long did Rumors out when you guys started touring? I know I don't want to go back, but I do want to ask that. How long had Rumors been out, or how long did you have to be on the tour before people started singing along?
Rumors, I think it started charting, being played on the radio and actually being charted in Billboard when I saw it, because that's when Jay called me and he was like, Marcus, if you can get a copy of, what do you say, radio records and radio. Like, I never heard of that magazine, bruh. So I went up to the newsstand and I got a copy of it, and there it was. It was being played in Texas. So I think that was around March of '86, and we started the tour in May of '86. So from March to May, that's when it got some steam behind it. And I've been, but you never know. You can have a record play on the radio and just never get past the top 20.
Right.
But it's on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make it a hit. It just makes it radio worthy. So to watch that record climb, I think it entered the charts in the 80s, like 82 or number 81 or something, and then watch it go to number 1. Oh my God. So yeah, I think what you're looking for is May of 1986 is when it was like everywhere. That's when it was, and I want to say the club play helped it tremendously, because every DJ I come across with it, like, man, I had 2-3 copies of your joint.
Yeah,
I had like at least 2, maybe 3 copies in my crate, because that song was so high. I didn't want to scratch it, or if it did get scratched, I'd just move on to the next copy. I'm like, dang. So, for DJs to tell you they got multiple copies of your joint, you're like, man.
right.
Yeah, it was hot. It got hot around, by the time we got on that tour, we were definitely, people knew who we were,
Wow.
So let's move to the verse, the main verse that everybody's like, who's that? Who's he talking about? Obviously, the first one is the biggest interest to Prince fans, obviously. Did you hear the one about Susan? Some say she's much too loose. That came straight from a guy who claims he's tasting her juice.
Yeah.
Which Susan we talking about there?
Well, that's Susan from Vanity 6.
Maybe these
there's not 2 Susans. So there's Tina.
Tina.
Tina is the first. Yeah. Tina. Okay.
My bad. Yeah.
So
Tina.
there's 2 women and a guy in that whole verse. So
Right.
there's Tina, Michael, and Susan.
Right.
I ended with Susan.
Yeah, Tina. I'm sorry. That's my bad.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I get for copy and pasting.
So who are we talking about with Tina?
We're talking about with Tina, right?
Okay. A classmate of mine that I went to school with. No last name. But there were some rumors about her.
Well,
some loose rumors.
Well, and there's always there's high school is high school. There's always going to be There's always going to be the Tinas.
Yes.
That's what makes
sense. And then Michael is, of course, Michael Jackson. I don't think I even had to clear that one up, but I want to.
Yeah. Michael Jackson. Did you hear the one about Michael? Some say he must be gay. I tried to argue, but they said if you were straight, he would move that way. Yeah. Well, there you go. And then, of course, the big one. Did you hear the one about Susan? Some say she's just a tease and a camisole. She's 6 feet tall. She'll knock you to your knees.
Yes, sir.
So, who was the Susan that everybody thought it was? What was her name?
They thought it was a model named Susan Anton.
Right, Susan Anton, because she was almost 6 foot tall.
It was quoted. Somebody wrote it in an article. I don't remember the newspaper or publication that did that. But as I was saying on the show previously, no one ever called me. When you want to check with the person that wrote it,
Right. Exactly.
instead of assume. You know what happens when you assume, right?
It makes an ass of you
So-
and me. That's right.
So I was never, if they were fact checking, they check with the author.
Right. Exactly.
So they didn't. They ran with that, and that got out. So yes, again, I'd like to clear that up. Susan, Vanity 6, the Hookers, and Apollonia 6. Yes.
Yeah. So, and I think what was a throw off, and
6 feet tall.
and here's the thing: you got Vanity 6 and Apollonia 6, and while they were all lovely to look at back in the day, I don't know anybody outside of Vanity and Apollonia. There was a lot of people who just didn't know the names of Brenda or Susan at that time. Obviously, we did.
Really?
Right.
Okay.
But there's a lot of people who may not have known some of them. And of course, the other throw off is the 6 foot tall, because Susan Moonsey is not 6 foot tall by a long
Well, that's
shot.
what I was trying to explain in the thread on Facebook. That sounded better than she's 5'3". I don't know.
But 3
I
right?
don't. She's 5'5". I don't know her height.
She's 5'5", 2'7".
I don't know. I don't. There's nothing on the liner notes of how tall those ladies were. So
There you go.
when I was writing and going over everything, she's 6 feet tall. Not get to your knee. Oh, yeah, that flows. That flows.
Yeah.
So
tall like camisole. Yeah.
that's when it got, as you would say, larger than life. But it worked. It actually worked. I liked it. Never had a person complain about it not sounding good.
Right.
So the only issue was, who is it? So I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take who is it over. Man, that's
What kind of line is that?
so right. What you writing, bro? 6 foot tall. You should have said blah, blah, blah.
You should have said.
So nobody's ever corrected me on how it sounded, how it flowed.
So you said that the band broke up, and so this brings up the next question. Obviously, is the Club Nouveau scenario.
Yes, sir.
Because this is a really interesting story, because I'm going to be honest with you. This I'm embarrassed, but I knew the names of the bands, but when I thought of Rumors, and then I was like, oh, what's that other song? Oh, I also did Lean on Me. And then I was like, wait a minute, no, who did that? And then it began, as I started to kind of do some research, I did realize that there's a reason why a lot of people kind of mix those bands together.
Right.
And especially when you look at the artwork again from Club Nouveau,
It's a whole nother.
A complete. I don't. Let's talk about this whole scenario between Club Nouveau and Timex Social Club, and how this came to be, and of course you got
I was there.
UL and everything. So yeah. So let's hear
So yes, sir. And I'll try to be fast on this. So first thing I want to say, from my point of view, there's no beef between Timex and Nouveau. A lot of people think that we got beef, because there was this whole series called Rap Beef, maybe about 10 years ago or whatever, and they went back and was like, this rapper didn't like this rapper back in the day, and so no, you won't see us on R&B beef. But so it goes back to the first question, how did Jay get involved? So Jay is a leader of Club Noveau, but he was at the time when he was involved with us, he was the president of J Records.
Right.
So no contract, blah blah blah. We got signed by a different label than his. So this is just my point of view, not his. So he'd probably have a different take, but I think he was upset that his group, Timex, got stolen because he didn't have his paperwork in order.
Right.
That is my point of view.
It makes sense.
So he had demos. We had given him demos of some of our songs. One of them being "Thinking About You," right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, again, my point of view. This is, in my opinion, I wasn't there. I think that it was decided, hey, we don't need those guys. We'll do it ourselves. So a group was formed to mimic our sound. And it consisted of 3 people that was actually in the studio with Timex Social Club when we were doing Rumors. So one of the people, Jay, the other 2 people, Diddy and Tommy, who went on to produce In Vogue and a lot of other groups. Mm-hmm. So you take those 3 people and you say, how can we emulate Rumors? How can we emulate that? Okay, well, we know what instruments were played. We were there in the studio with those guys. So now we just need to get a singer that can rival their singer. And we'll put this whole thing in and we'll create a new group and we'll even name it close. We'll club in the name. Right?
Yeah.
And we'll go to a different label, Warner Brothers, and we'll sell this. Sign us because we got everything that Timex got. And okay, so that happened. That actually happened. Warner signed them. Wow. And so now when you're looking at the artwork, okay, now you got to get the artwork from Timex. So my brother is the artist, the original artist that did the art for Rumors. That's Daryl Thompson.
Mm.
So they hired a knockoff artist and told this lady, hey, make a cover that looks like that cover for our album and everything we do. So if you look at the name, I think her name is Devin or Denise or something like that. So they in the rap world, in the rap community, you would call it beat biting.
Yeah.
Beat biting back in the day, right?
Yep.
There was even a record called Beat Biting. But, that was like, okay, don't bite my beats, man. Don't bite my style. Don't, if you're coming out, rap your way. Don't rap like me trying to get on.
That's right.
So that's what it was. It was a lot of emulation. And you can see it when you look at the two, when you compare everything. You can hear it and you can see it. And it came down to who was in the room. So Why You Treat Me So Bad is Thinking About You 2.0.
And that's interesting because one of the first questions that somebody asked was, what's the drum machine that was played on Why You Treat Me So Bad? And that's
wasn't there.
It just goes to show, it literally just goes to show exactly what was going on as far as the as far as the it was so similar that people just get it mixed up. It's just unreal.
And make matters worse, Warner Brothers had a machine
deeper pockets
behind them. Oh yes.
Yeah.
That was a machine. Once you enter that system, so it was, let's erase those brothers. And,
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to create this new thing called Nouveau. And it's going to sound so much. Oh, Jealousy, right?
Yep. I
Have
put
you
that up
have
there
you
for a
played Rumors versus Jealousy?
reason.
Extreme beat biting.
Yeah.
Extreme.
Yep.
Man, dude. All the way down to the white meat. It just, I'm like, man, you got to do all that, dude. God bless you.
Yeah, it's true.
But
I swear it was the same song. I mean,
a lot of groups were doing that back then.
Yeah.
A lot of, New Edition bit off the Jackson 5. I mean, I can go on and on and on. You can also. There were a lot of groups emulating each other or other groups that have come before them, just trying to get a leg up on the charts, just trying to get signed. I remember when I first saw Ready for the World, I was like, oh my God. Who are these dudes? Prince, The Time, Jesse Johnson, all rolled up in the one. It was crazy. And it's like they even had the same drum kit.
Up until he said,
the old Sheila. So I was like, man, that's wow. But yeah, a lot of people, Let Me Love You Down, I'm like, man, that sounds like a Prince joint, man. So hard. Fighting so hard. But a lot of people did that, man. The stuff started overlapping, But yeah, that's what it was. So I hope that clears it up.
Yeah, and that's just so great. And then, of course, we can't go without talking about the Vicious Rumor Club and the Rumor Rap. We can't go without talking about that.
We get into the derivatives, the remakes and people. Yeah. There's a lot out there, man. Good. I'm glad you found that one. Yes, that was hilarious. I actually bought that record in New York City when we were doing some shows out there. I walked into a record shop and found it. I didn't know it was out until I had it in my hand. So I actually bought a copy and took it back home.
Wow.
It's unreal how many people have tried to rip off your sound and just
I know, right? It got crazy. Roaches. They did that Roaches song.
All the parodies.
There were a lot of, like you say, parodies, derivatives, whatever. Yeah, man. I mean, and it keeps going, going and going and going and going.
Roaches will always be funny. Roaches.
Oh my God, dude! Roaches are hilarious. To this very day, it's hilarious. I love that. We actually did one show with those guys.
That's awesome.
They opened for us. We were the headliners. But yeah. Russ Parr, General Jeff. Yeah, I actually met them. We actually rocked with them once.
Awesome.
And here's another thing that I kind of find a little bit interesting too is that even into the sorry, I'm kind of up in my level here. I'm getting like various reports on the app and stuff that I'm a little bit low on the app. Even on, let's just say, I don't know how long ago this was, but like in the 2000s, you were touring with Samuel from Club Noveau. That I had seen. You had actually joined forces with Samuel from Club Noveau. And are actually doing shows. So are you still?
I'll talk to him today. Yeah, we do. Yeah, he does his own thing. I do my own thing. I DJ, and when we get the call, he's the first vocalist that's up. Yep.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah, we do some of his joints, and then we fall back and we close it out with Timex stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is very, very cool. Well,
yeah, I remember when I first dropped that question, man, I thought he would say no. But yeah, I think that was 2012 when we first hooked up. But I had a podcast, and I was, just doing some stuff, and I was like, I'm going to go back and talk to try to talk to a lot of the people that were involved. And he was one. I emailed him and his brother, and they came on, and it was a very nice interview. And I enjoyed the energy and everything. And I said, this brother's real cool, man. Let me hit him up and ask him this crazy ass question. Would he ever would he ever rock with me, man? And so he said, yeah, bro. When you want to do it? I was like, oh, okay, now.
I'm making $4.25 an hour. Just let me know when.
So yeah, I was kind of half thinking. He said, nah, that's all right, because he missed to lean on me. So, but yeah, yeah, cool cat.
Well, I can't thank you enough for coming on and sharing these stories, man. I heard a lot of stories. I wanted to make sure that we covered stuff that you may not have covered in other interviews, and just kind of get to some of the rich.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it, man. But I didn't tell you about the Morris Day thing.
Oh, yeah. You got to tell us that.
Oh, yeah.
So real quick. So we're on the, we get off the Raising Hill tour. Our booking agent says, got another tour for you guys to go on in like 2 days. It's the New Edition tour. I'm like, okay, New Edition. Damn. Woo, them brothers, they go hard.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, we've been on all summer with running them. We good. We can, yeah. Who else is on there? So he says, Morris Day. Ah, shit. I'm like, okay, yeah, we can do that too. So we get to Vegas, and we don't meet anybody. We're cold. We come out of the dressing room. We do our show. We go back in the dressing room. Some shenanigans happen. That's in the book.
Oh, no.
So now I'm upset. I'll go into it. Okay, real quick. They changed the sign on our dressing room door. When we left the dressing room to go on stage, it said Timex Social Club. We came back. It said Morris Day's Girls.
Oh,
No. That's over good.
that's kind of messed up.
The Daisies?
So I'm thinking that these females have taken over our dressing room. So I'm pissed off. Everybody's pissed off. We're like, what the hell? So we're like, well, we don't care. If they're naked, we're gonna barge in there. It's our dressing room for the entire night.
Right.
Okay. So we walk up in there. We're like, there's nobody in there. Joke's on us. Everything is just the way we left it. The only thing that changed was the sign. So, but we still pissed off. So anyway, we go out and we're on the side of the stage. We're hanging out, and some other things happen. That's in the book. So now it's time for Morris to perform. So I'm all excited. I'm geeked. This is the man, the myth, the legend, Morris Day. So this brother comes out, man. You remember Chick, Prince's bodyguard?
Yeah.
This brother about big as Chick. Black dude. He got on a suit. Big old offensive lineman looking MFer, right? So he's pushing people out the way. Get out the way. Morris is coming. Morris is coming. And I'm like, what in the F is going on? What? Get out the way. So now I came from being offended to now I was at DEFCON 8 with the sign change. Now you're gonna try to push me out the way, us out the way. We on the show, bruh. In fact, crack a Billboard copy of Billboard magazine. We charting higher than your boy right now, right? Oak Tree is down in the 20s. Rumors is floating like number 2 or something. You know what I'm saying? Right. We got the clout. So I'm pissed off. So he's pushing people out of the way. So Morris runs out the back. He's got his cape. He runs out on stage, man, and he does the little bird call, and they start the show. But I'm like, this is my introduction to Morris. So Jesse dissed me. And then Morris dissed me.
Morris said, "Move, get out the way."
No, first they changed the damn sign. That's
First
disrespectful. And then they sent the goon. They sent the goon out there looking like a chocolate chick bodyguard dude pushing people out the damn way. I'm like, you know what? I am tired of the time right now. I can laugh about it now, but I was hot, bro.
You unfortunately met the two individuals who are a little bit like that, Jesse and Morris, because you
yeah, but if it was jokes, explain the jokks, but they never did.
Yeah.
They never did.
Monty Moore, the most friendliest person you ever meet on the planet. Jelly
Yeah,
Bean.
never met the rest of the crew.
Oh my God, they're all like so down to earth.
Yeah,
but man.
So let me say this though. I just wanted to let you know because I know you're on your phone, so you're missing it. We have some of the most awesome listeners, and even one of them was concerned about your cold and your cough. So I got to put this out. Tell Marcus to drink fresh pineapple juice and cayenne pepper. See, they're looking out for you.
Oh, snap! Okay, never heard that before. I will. Yes,
people are looking out, and that's our people.
I appreciate it.
And we actually have, I guess, a gentleman in here that is must know you very, very well, or know the company that you keep very, very well, because he has like been dropping names like crazy. Obviously, we're kind of up on the time here, but he dropped Alex Hill. He said, ask him about Mike Marshall and Jay Logan, Natty Prep.
Oh my God! Well,
like, man, we don't have time
again,
to put all that. It's in the book. Matter of fact, as I just said, right here, funkatopia.com/Timex. That's funkatopia.com/Timex. You can get this book. It will take you right to the Amazon page, so you don't have to remember the name. And
the audiobook is out. The audiobook is also there. So for those that don't want to read, you can listen.
Did you get Samuel L. Jackson to read it, or are you reading it?
No. I hired a narrator.
Check out the watch when you get the book. Zoom in.
Yeah, well, this is that's actually a caricature drawing of the photo.
Yeah, but it is a Casio for sure, for real.
Casio.
Marcus Thompson, Timex Social Club. I cannot thank you enough for coming on the show and just sharing some time with us. And I cannot wait to read some of these crazy stories that are on here. I've already seen a couple people said they've already picked it up. And somebody.
Oh man, thank you so much. Thank you.
And somebody actually grabbed one on what is it? Not it's grab the audiobook too.
Cool. Thank you.
If you're a member of what is the Amazon
Audible.
Yes, Audible. Somebody said that.
I think you can get it for 3 cents.
I think you can get it for So if you're a member of Audible, if you're a member of Audible, you can get it. So
you can just get it. I think they just give it to you.
Funkatopia.com/Timex and check it out, man. Again, Marcus, thank you so much for coming on, man. This is great stuff.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. Appreciate you.
We really appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so
you're
much.
Welcome, yeah.
Good night, everyone. I hope you have a fun time. We will see you next week. If you have anything you need, just let me know. Just, you know how to reach us. Adios, amigos y amigas. WTF.